Wake up in the morning, feeling the weight of the world on my shoulders. I wanna move closer, but I don't control it. I know I've been trying, the door isn't open. I know it sounds funny, but really though, in the beginning we really close. Now we just cruising up on the coast. Don't wanna lose you, I really don't. My God, I'm working so hard. I let my guards down and I'm feeling so far. You won't cut me off and I'm ready to grow and I'm ready to know you more. Please, I honestly say I'm mature. It ain't my decision, it's yours. But I will persuade with my all, cause I'm ready to run to your arms. I just want you to know that I wanna go to a place where I find you, a place I call home, a place where I'm not alone. And maybe I'll grow just a little bit more, and I'll be adored. Then I'll be adored. Then I'll be adored. Then I'll be adored. Then I'll be adored. I go back and forth when I feel your presence. I'm above the world. There isn't much better, but then I fall levels and levels below it. Don't know where I'm going, don't know where I'm holding. I say I gave up, but I know I didn't. It's just my frustration, I'm only human. I act like I know what I'm really doing, as long as it's you that I'm really choosing. I will never give up, no, I wanna do it your way. You're the king of the world, only wanna do what you say. I know that it's possible to give back my heart to you. Do it that you choose. I just want you to know that I wanna go to a place where I find you, a place I call home, a place where I'm not alone. And maybe I'll grow just a little bit more, and I'll be adored. Then I'll be adored. Then I'll be adored. Then I'll be adored. Then I'll be adored. I know that you love me, I really do. Just wanna do right by you till it's through. Please don't ignore me, please just adore me. Wanna be closer to you. I just wanna make you happy. A shining light looking right at me. I give to you gladly, that's my reaction. I just want you to know that I wanna go to a place where I find you, a place I call home, a place where I'm not alone. And maybe I'll grow just a little bit more, and I'll be adored. Then I'll be adored. Then I'll be adored. Then I'll be adored. Then I'll be adored.
Okay.
Welcome to Parents and Pennies, where family meets financing and every dollar counts. Brought to you by MITM Business Consultants. Join your hosts, Art Abrahamian, with over 12 years of experience in finance, banking, and business advising, and Roy Rosales, a father of two and coach to many, who has an extensive background in real estate. These two family men are here for you, bringing real stories, practical tips, and financial wisdom every week to keep your family thriving. They'll help you secure your family's financial future through simple, memorable financial adjustments that will help you achieve your financial goals. Because when it comes to family and finances, it's not about having more, it's about making the most of what you have. Here's Art and Roy.
My bad. What's going on, everybody? Episode 7 of Parents and Pennies. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Roy, how are you doing, my brother?
I am truly blessed. Art, more importantly, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you for asking. I am excited to be back. Episode 7 is live today. We got some interesting things to talk about, and we are talking about deserving more to get more. So you were the one that really wanted to talk about this, so tell us why.
First and foremost, shout out to the four most important things in my life, right? God, family, my clients, and my football players, my students, anyone that I get to teach or coach. I appreciate you you're always in my life. So appreciate you. One of the things is, we've been coming around right now is the limited beliefs. A lot of people are assuming that they can't reach for the stars or they can't get more because of what their life has been recently, right? And that is definitely one of the things I want to bring up a lot. That, don't get me wrong, I've been through that about 7 years ago, and that's why I keep bringing it up to a lot of people. Like, what's holding you back from really believing that you can achieve that?
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's because we assume that as our life because that's what we see every day.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to have that conversation now because, we're already in February,
I know, man. It's moving fast.
It's moving fast. We're already in February. And now what are we going to do the next 11 months, right?
Yeah.
Do you believe you deserve?
There's 10 months.
10.
There's a lot sooner than we thought.
Oh, yeah. Well, 10 months, right? And now you're like, do we really want to be the best this year, right?
Yeah.
And that's something we can achieve. We just got to believe.
Right. I agree, man. And let's get right into it. So, speaking of believing, that's the first part of what we're going to talk about. It's the power of belief. That your mindset determines your ability to grow and succeed. And if you don't believe that you deserve more, you're never going to take action to achieve it, right? So it's like self-imposed limitations, they can keep you stuck.
Yeah.
Especially in the same place. And it's like, how are you going to thrive to do better if you feel like you don't deserve better? So it's really shifting. It's shifting the narrative in your own head where it's like, hey, I am worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I do deserve better. And if I won't give it to me, then who's going to?
And I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of times, even our own family are the reason why we're held back.
Yeah.
Right. And
true.
because that's the way they live. That's the way they were brought up. And now they're telling you, oh, you can't do more because that's all. That's all we can go. We come from here, we live in a mobile home or we work in the fields. Like, that's all we are meant to do here.
Yeah.
When God has blessed everyone with a specific skill that you can do and master, and you can create your own wealth with that and, and have that opportunity. But that's where surrounding yourself with the right people, as you are, you have helped me be not only a better man, a better father, a better friend, but also a better businessman, because you are you are knowing more, and yes, it's your business. It's to help me grow my business.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's mutual, brother. I mean, you've helped me be a better man, better father as well. So don't, it's not a one-way street. It's a two-way street for sure. Yeah, it's funny you say that, right? Because it's true. Family, you would think it would be outside of the family, but it is family that ends up limiting us quite a bit. Because their own fears and insecurities. Yes. They grew up not being able to chase their dreams, so they just perpetuate that abuse where it's like, it's not even that they're trying to do it, it's just they don't know how else to do it. They grew up with somebody limiting their mindset as much as possible, and how are they supposed to teach you how to shoot for the stars if they themselves have never gone for it?
And that's totally true, right? If they can't advise you or anything, but I will still encourage to be supportive.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
Like, hey, go do it, right?
Yeah.
Even if you don't know, even if you didn't shoot for the stars, even if you regret not trying this, trying that.
Yeah.
But don't be the reason why your son, your daughter, your cousin, or your brother or your sister are not making their life better
Yeah.
because you were the one that shut them down.
Right.
Don't
and then
be
you're-
that person.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like your own insecurities of like
Yeah.
you were afraid to fail, so you think everybody needs to be afraid to fail. You know, going through my career, it was funny. I would always tell my parents like, "Hey, I'm up for promotion, or I'm going for this promotion. I'm going for this and that." My parents were never like, "That's good, keep it going." My parents were like, "Well, don't you think it's too soon? You just got that last promotion. Like, are you sure?" It's like, what do you mean? Am I sure? It's like that mindset of like, you don't even like all parents want the best for their kids, but even when their kids are striving for the best, their parents think, "Oh, you're moving too quick. You should probably slow down." It's like, what do you mean I'm moving too quick? It's like, dude, I'm moving up the ladder, and just because it's quick doesn't mean it's not worth doing.
And a lot of times, right, it again, it implements doubt in your head, right?
Yeah.
It's like, do I deserve it? Do I?
Yeah.
Because why am I doing it so fast? Well, maybe because you're doing a great job. That's why they're moving up.
Exactly.
It's like when someone meets someone and it's like, oh, I'm sorry, you eat steaks, right? You eat one steak here, but then in another restaurant you eat another steak, and it's like, wait, this is so much better
Yeah.
for the same price
Yeah.
or a little bit more. Man, I'm coming here. So that's why when people get promoted quickly, anyone around them, they should be very happy for them because they're doing something right.
Yeah.
Instead of either slowing them down or hating or worse, envy comes into play because why is she moving up faster than me?
Yeah.
Right? And like, no, it's just that person is putting in more work, but you're not seeing it that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's, it leaps us into the next topic where it's like scarcity versus abundance mindset, right? Like if we think about scarcity mindset, it's believing opportunities are limited, we're fearing failure, and we're avoiding risk, right? But the abundance mindset is seeing opportunities everywhere, embracing challenges, and striving for growth. People who tend to believe in abundance actively seek better opportunities.
Oh, yes.
And they take calculated risks, right? Because we talk about that where it's like, don't just jump into something blind. You at least want to see what's on the end of the leap
Yes.
so that you can gauge, well, how far is this leap and how much is it going to hurt? But when you sit there and you're like, okay, the scarcity mindset, well, I don't know, I'm too stupid to do that. Oh, I don't think I can. Oh, I don't this, I don't that. I know somebody who stayed, and I think she still is to this day. She's worked at a bank that I worked at, and she's a bank teller for 13 or 14 years. She's just been a bank teller. It's like, dude, you could have been a manager. Like I would always tell her, like, why don't you go for a lead position, or why don't you get promoted? And she's like, oh, no, I'm just scared. It's like for 13 years, you've been doing the same job. And there's not one day where you're like, I want more. Yeah, I can do more. I can achieve more. I can accomplish more. Mind you, she was like, oh, well, when I finish school, and it doesn't even matter how long it took her to take school. That's irrelevant. She finished. She ended up getting her degree. It took her a lot longer than it should have, but it doesn't matter because she did it, and good for her. But here she is, a teller of like probably 17 years now, 16 years, with a degree in psychology. And when I'm like, hey, I want you to go apply at this place that are clients of ours, and they're looking for people to do psychological family work, this and that, to work with kids. No. She's not applied once. She's not done anything. And when every time I go to the bank, I see her, I say hi. I'm like, hey, you're still here?
Yeah.
She's just so scared and so self-doubting where it's like, congratulations. That thing was like, congratulations, you played yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where that fearing of failure, right? They don't even try no more.
Yeah.
They try so much less that if they do fail, they're like, you see, it wasn't meant to be.
I told you. Yeah.
I told you they didn't want me, or I told you I wasn't going to make it. Well, did you really try your hardest?
Yeah.
Because if you went and studied for that, that means you want to do it, but you're failing. Everyone fails at some point, right? Everything is a struggle. Everything is hard work. What we do is hard work. Even though we know what we're doing, it's still hard work.
Yeah,
We're still
piles
learning.
up.
We're still learning new laws, new things, new rules every damn year, month, and day. Something happens.
Yeah.
We gotta be up to date, but we gotta practice. We gotta be able to do this every day. So, when I tell you, like, don't be scared of pursuing your dreams because you only have one life. First of all, and then the next thing is you're the best investment you can make on yourself.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, no one else will invest in you more than yourself.
Yep. That's
And
why this sign says it right there. Oh, there it is. You'll never go broke investing in yourself.
there you go. And that's where I believe a lot of people are not doing it a little bit more, is investing on themselves, because you're the only one that can achieve more if
Yeah.
you believe in yourself, right?
And about believing in ourselves, that ties into the next portion, right? Self-worth and success. If you don't see yourself as worthy of success, you will unconsciously sabotage your progress. If you can't recognize your value and it allows you to make bold moves and investing in yourself,
Yeah.
confidence and self-worth only fuel ambition and persistence. And I think what you said is really important, right? If you can't be the first person to invest in yourself, nobody else is going to follow suit.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you look at things like, okay, if we're going to go forward and I'm going to invest all this time and resources into myself, how does it benefit me? Okay, will I fail? Yeah, I might fail. Who cares? Get that out of your head. If you fail, you fail. But at least you walk away with a valuable lesson and information that you never would have known otherwise. I was talking to somebody about, like, they were like, oh, well, I've done this before and it didn't work out. I'm like, okay. That's what it was. It was one of our new client that sells CMOS, and she does like this flavorful CMOS drink for all of her clients. And she was scared to get started with us, and then I just left it alone. I don't really push people. I'm like, when you're ready, you're ready. And when that time comes, you'll be ready. Because I say it all the time, I don't want clients who aren't ready, because then it's just too much work for both of us. So she ended up closing it, and then comes back to me at, like, this is like 10 months later, comes back and she's like, I'm ready to move forward. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, I'm confident now. I know what worked, what didn't work the last time, so I'm going to do things different. I said, you shouldn't even be upset with yourself that the last time you pulled the plug on it. You got to do what most people wish they could do, which was start over and actually know what to do this time. Yeah. So I said, what you're going to do is you're going to take everything that worked and you're going to get rid of all the things that didn't work, and we're going to work on the stuff that didn't work. And it was like
And that's called doing your 20%. That will get you 80% of the results.
Yeah.
Doing 20% every day that will make everything else easier will get you 80% of the results. And that is one thing that we're teaching in the high school seniors right now, is do something every day that will make you be mentally, physically, and spiritually ready for any opportunity that comes, right? And if you are prepared, so prepared, you are going to take advantage of those opportunities, those blessings that come with you. But if you don't practice, if you don't, if you're not ready, then when those opportunities come, you're going to miss it. And then you're going to say, oh, well, you see, I don't get no opportunities. I don't get this. I don't get that. So I will always encourage you, do the 20% that matters most, what you should be doing every day. And then everything will take care of itself. Everything will become more simpler. It's never easy. It just becomes simple. And once it becomes simple, then you attack it. You're more purposeful and you're intentional about what you're doing. So take that time, figure out what you need to do every day to get your mind, body, and soul right. So that way you can approach it and attack the day the way you should. So anything that comes in that day, you are more than ready to attack it, resolve it, fix it, or any challenges. We have challenges every day.
Yeah.
Right? But if our mind, body, and soul are not right,
good luck.
It breaks us.
Yeah.
So do your 20%. That's what definitely is going to take you to the next level in your life.
I agree, and that segues into our the next chapter too, because that mindset's really important, where it's like, hey,
taking action towards your growth.
Yeah, taking action towards your growth, right? Identifying limiting beliefs and challenging them, surrounding yourself with people who uplift and inspire growth, right? Like you say it all the time, is surround yourself with the best people you can.
Oh man.
And if we're not all achieving for greater, then, we either have to go back and pick up whoever's not pulling their weight and help them. And if they can't continue, at that point, maybe it's just time to say, hey, dude, this bus is leaving, and I don't think you have a ticket.
No, well, I think a lot of times it's harder for us to say, hey, I'm not gonna be able to hang out with you more.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of times that's what people feel like. Oh, I feel like I'm leaving them. I'm changing them. No, it's not that. It's just that you want to have a better life, and they don't want to have a better life. It's not that they want to go with you. It's just they just don't want to go that path. Then it's okay for you to have that opportunity to go find other people that have that same mentality, because that takes a big toll on you. And we need our people surrounding us that encourages us, supports us, holds us accountable.
Yeah.
Right. And to reach our goals, and taking small little steps is going to get us to the big win. Right.
Yeah. And then setting those higher goals is really important too.
Yeah.
Like nobody expects you to reach your end goal overnight.
Yeah.
Your end goal is the end goal.
That's right.
But you set a million little steps in between, and you just slowly knock them out. And eventually, if you do those things, then your end goal starts to get a lot closer. So, investing in education, mentorship, and personal development is really big. And you're doing this weekly, or not? How often are you guys teaching?
Weekly.
Now? You're teaching weekly
every
at the
Friday.
schools?
Every Friday to all seniors in Coachella Valley, and high school in Desert Mirage, high school in Salton Sea. North Shore, Desert Shore's over there. So the reason why we're doing it is because I grew up in the East Valley, and a lot of times we did not have the resources. So we didn't know who to speak to about, what if I do want to take another step forward, right? And I want to be able to have that opportunity to tell these young minds that, hey, you can make it. Me standing here is a proof that you could make it and will make it if you make some better decisions in your life, right?
Yeah.
And that's what it takes, and there's a big lie that they told us in school, that, from the age from 0 to 22, we should be learning. From 22 to 65, we should be working. And from 65 to question mark, which we don't know when it's the end, we should have fun and retirement, right? I believe that you should always be learning, working hard, and having fun every single day.
Yeah.
If you do what's important to you, then you will always learn something new. You will always strive to learn something for that business to grow, and you're going to work hard for that business, and then you get to go do what's fun for you.
Yeah.
Right? But if you don't know what's important to you in your life, then you will never have that big joy of doing that. So that's what taking action towards growth means to me, is having that opportunity to take small steps forward till you can win.
No, I agree. And the way you do that, it goes into our next one, is the role of daily habits, right? Like every day, your habits should reflect your belief and desire.
Yes.
So if you want to be a healthier version of you, your exercise, your diet, everything matters. All of that matters. Again, you don't look at the end goal, I'm trying to look like X.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Just try to be better every day. And, do the decisions that you make align with your success, right? Like if you know what it takes for you to be successful, then you ask yourself, is the decision that you're making today aligned with that success, or are you settling?
Yeah.
Are you settling for less? And if you're going to settle for less, that's fine, but don't complain about why you received less.
Yes.
And then it's small, consistent changes in habits that link to long-term transformations, right? Like I lost all this weight.
Yeah.
I still have to maintain. I can't just go, okay, I lost all that weight. It's time to get all crazy and start eating bad again. It's like, no, I eat a very strict diet. I still exercise every day, because it's like I met my goal, but the goal doesn't, just because I hit my goal doesn't mean it's over.
Exactly.
Like I have to maintain. I have to keep taking steps to stay healthy. I'm going to doctors all the time. I probably go to the doctors more now than I've ever done in my entire 30 years collectively.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that everything's where it needs to be, because I didn't go through all this to not reap the benefits of being and living a healthier life.
And having the role of daily habits, do you know how many days will take you to create a habit.
Was it 30, 40?
90.
Oh, is it 90?
90 days for you to create a habit. Now, I'm not saying it's a good habit or a bad habit, right? But it takes 90 days for you to create that habit. So whatever you do today, 90 days is going to create that habit. So it's going to either determine if it was good or bad. So one of the things I always say, and I'm glad you brought that up, just small little changes makes the big difference. If you were to just skip the breakfast, right? Just skip the breakfast for the next 90 days. You'll probably see a difference in how your clothes fit. You might have lost maybe 5 pounds, right? You're still eating, your what it makes you happy, but just by skipping that one meal has allowed you to feel better, right? And adjust. Of course, the first month is going to be hard, but as soon as you are consistently doing it, now it becomes a habit. And once it becomes a habit, it just makes it a little bit easier for you to, hey, that's the way it's going to be. I feel good. But that people are not willing to do 90 days.
Yeah.
They're quitting. That's what you told me last time. It's the second Friday of January is quit Friday. People quit on their New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
So
it's
that's
because
crazy.
they try it and they're like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Everybody, gym memberships spike up in the month of December, in the month of January, end of December, beginning of January. People stick to it for a week or 2, 3 weeks, and then they just fall off. And it's like, you just can't help that. Like, you either have to put it in your own head that this is what needs to be done and move forward. It's like, I've been on both spectrums. Like, it's funny. It's that Wolf of Wall Street line. Like, I've been a poor man. I've been a rich man. I choose rich every time. It's like, I've been a big guy. I've been a skinny guy. I choose being skinny over big, because it's like being able to tie your shoes and not be tired and gasping for breath is pretty nice.
But also fitting in clothes that you want to fit.
Yeah, it's so funny, dude. It was so interesting. So one of our clients, shout out Paradise Pickleball, one of our clients made some jackets, and typically, like, when they make clothes, they always, clients always give me one of their shirts or jackets to wear, and she's like, and he comes up and he's like, hey, he holds up this, I'll do it with this hand, he holds up this jacket, and the jacket was a medium. Now, mind you, I used to be a 4XLB, 4 extra large big.
Wow.
So he's holding up this medium, and I thought it was a large, because I've been buying clothes in large, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, that's not gonna fit. It's too small. He's like, no, I'm pretty sure it's going to be like perfect. So he puts it on, or he gives it to me, and I put it on, and it fit perfect. Like, it looked good. It actually had some room in there. And I was like, holy shit, who am I?
Yeah.
Like, in my dreams, like, I've been small as a kid, but never this old in my life being this skinny. Like, my weight was pretty decent with my age, but now it's like, as an older man being that thin, it's like, what the hell? I even said out, I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
I don't even know who I am at that point, because it's like, there was never a world where I was like, oh, medium. I mean, we talked about this with the Kohl's thing, right? Like, I used to shop in big and tall. I wasn't tall, I was just big, where it's like, now it's like I can shop anywhere, and that to me is the weirdest feeling, because it's a sense of anxiety comes with it, because I went from being so limited, like, this is my section, it's this one small section, this is where I can be.
And that's the beautiful part that you just say, limited.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's all you thought that was all I was going to be. This is all limited, either white or black in this size. 4XL.
Yeah.
But once you started dropping that weight, now the unlimited beliefs came in. Now anything can be addressed to you. And now that jacket is a symbol of you, like, man, I've worked so hard to be here.
Yeah.
And it's a rewarding, humbling experience. Believe you me, when I put on those suits and I feel good, no one else can look fitted like the way that, man, I'm so damn happy.
Yeah.
And that encourages me to stay consistent with my meal plan or my fast, right?
Yeah.
So my fast right now consists of 5 days every month now. I'm continually doing it because I've noticed and learned that when I fast, I'm in a whole different mode. I'm in beast mode because I can't think about food. I'm not eating food, and I gotta dive in and do something else.
Yeah.
So I'm more alert, more focused, and now it opens up my dreams even more. So for me, that's been a beautiful blessing.
And I'm sure it makes you appreciate food, because then when
Oh,
you do
man.
get to eat, it just tastes.
Oh,
It just
yeah,
hits
yeah, yeah,
different.
for sure,
It
for
hits
sure.
different. But it's
Oh.
like, dude, it's funny you say that. Where it's like, it's the world is your oyster. It's truly like, it feels that way now, because it's like I don't look somewhere and I go, oh, because you know that limited belief. You'd walk in and you're like, oh, I can't shop here. Nothing fits me here, because you don't even try.
Yeah.
And it's like, because you get discouraged when you try. It just makes you realize how big you are. So you're like, I can't get discouraged if I don't try.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the biggest thing, is people are afraid to try because they can't be made aware of their issues if they just never try. Because typically it's when you try and fail at something, you're aware of your issues. But if you don't even try, then you can't be made aware of it. So practical steps to shift that mindset, right? Like, reframe negative thoughts into positive affirmations. Visualize your success and act as if you've already achieved it. Take responsibility for your future. Stop waiting for opportunities and create them. And then along the way, celebrate small wins to reinforce that progress. You can't expect to reach your goal overnight, but you want to be confident and not cocky. There's a difference between confident and cocky, where it's like, I know guys that lease vehicles and think they're better than everybody else. It's like, just relax, bro. You're paying 1/3 of what that car is worth on a monthly basis, and you can barely afford that. That doesn't make you better than anybody in any room. Doesn't matter what you wear. Doesn't matter all that. That is irrelevant. It's about your meaningful actions, and be confident in your actions, but don't use it as a tool to make people feel bad because they haven't achieved it. I've been on, like I said, both sides, right? Like, I don't use my found weight loss to shame people who can't lose weight.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I know what it takes to do it. I did it. Do I think everybody's capable of doing what I did? No, because what I did took a lot of mental fortitude, going on a 2-month liquid fast, dieting strictly for another 8 months, losing almost 300 pounds in 10 months. Like, I know what it takes to do this stuff, exercising 3 hours a day. I don't sit there and expect anybody. But what I do is, when I hear the excuses, I see myself. I used to make those same excuses. Oh, I have this medical. Oh, I have this. Oh, I have that. It's like, that is what's making you not achieve your goals. Again, but that doesn't give me the right, just because I achieved my goal and did it, that doesn't give me the right to treat myself as if I'm better than someone else.
No, I get what you're saying. People feel the difference when you're confident and you're cocky. Right? People notice that. And when people are confident, people gravitate to you, right? But when you're cocky, you're like, man, I don't want to kick with that fool, right?
Yeah.
Like, I just don't. And that's one of the things about staying humble, but being humble, because you recognize and realize like how hard it took you to be there. You're just happy to eat that one slice of burger because you remember eating 12.
Yeah.
So now you're enjoying that one burger, but you're happy and have that joyful moment with them, and not making them feel bad. But also being supportive, like, hey man, if I can do it, you can do it. Which is that one little thing is one step at a time. One step at a time. Go do 1 lap today. And in 10 days, try to do 2 laps. And then in 20 days, try to do 3 laps. Like, just take one thing at a time, because you're not gonna lose 100 pounds in 1 week.
No, you're not. It took me 2 months to do that. And even that was crazy. But that's the thing, is like, everybody was like, oh, you should stop. You should stop. It's dangerous. Oh, you should stop. It's like, dude, I'm going to the doctor. I'm staying on top of it. And even some of my nutritionists, were like, hey, you can't maintain this. You can't maintain that. You can't maintain this. And I'm like, says who?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, because at some point you're not going to maintain it, this and that. And I'm like, okay, well, when that point gets here, then we'll make adjustments. But right now it's working. So it wasn't me saying to my doctors like, oh, I know better than you. I don't, but I know what's working for me and my body, so I stuck with it. And it's one of those things too, Roy, where it's like, I agree. I sit there and I hear people make the excuses, and I flat out say, like, that's just an excuse. I remember making those excuses. But holding somebody accountable to their excuse is not being cocky. I think that's really important to sometimes shake somebody out of it, being like, you're limiting your mindset. You're using that as your crutch.
Yeah.
I tend to play this card game, not as frequent, but I play cards with friends, and we come across people who are just very salty about losing, and they use all sorts of excuses as their crutch. One person's like, "Oh, well, I'm autistic," and starts throwing a tantrum and crying and this, that, and then they just always run to that. Well, because I'm autistic, because I'm this, and I'm like, I've met plenty of autistic people who don't act that way.
Yeah,
plenty who are much worse on the spectrum than you. But it's because all your life you've been told a certain something.
That this is why
you can't achieve anything, and then it's become your crutch.
Yeah.
Where it's like, great, you're using your autism as a crutch. Meanwhile, there's plenty of geniuses out there with autism. And yeah, I'm sure they have their struggles. I have clients who have kids with severe autism. Mm-hmm. I've met people with severe autism, and it's like, I've never seen them act that way.
Yeah.
Because they don't use it as a crutch. This poor girl has been told all her life she's not good enough and that this is going to limit her, and then she just fed into it. So now every time she acts a certain way, she's like, well, I can just blame my autism.
Yeah.
It's really easy. I can just blame this crutch that was given to me by everybody else, and I've embraced it.
Yeah.
Instead of fighting away and saying, yes, I do have it, and I might I might space out from here and there and act up, but I'll apologize for it and say, you know what, I'm working on it. It's something I'm working through, and this, that. And this is just like, it's interesting. It's a mindset thing. It really is. And it's like, if you want to do better, you have to just achieve for better.
Well, that comes with mine, having Mexican parents, and they worked on the fields and everything. That was my excuse, and I acted like a victim, thinking like that, limited beliefs, because I thought, oh, well, my parents didn't teach me this, my parents didn't do this, right? Like, in that stopped me, and I blame my parents for that when it shouldn't be my parents. It was my choice. I made it. Once I made the choice that I want to learn more, I want to be a better husband, a better coach, a better teacher, a better businessman, a better human being, a better, person in someone's life. That's when things changed, right? And that's where I just want to tell everyone, like, hey, it doesn't matter where you come from, doesn't matter where you lived, it doesn't matter what skin color you are, or it doesn't matter. You have a choice. Do I want the best for me and my family? Do I want the best for me, right? And at the end of the day, no one's gonna know you better than you. Realistically, that's why you chose to still do that diet, that nutrition, all that, whatever, because you know your body. You know that you still have energy. You know you're still doing this and this, and you're feeling better. The doctors or nutritionists are not gonna do that.
Yeah.
So, and that's what, for me, I tell everyone is just take your small little steps and shift your mindset into that. You will believe it. You will win. But if you tell yourself, no, I don't believe in yourself, or I am going to lose, well, then guess what's going to happen?
Yeah.
You're going to lose.
You are going to lose. You're absolutely going to lose. And I think, wrapping things up, you got to achieve what you believe. And the way to do that is success starts with a belief. Mm-hmm. If you believe in yourself and the possibility, and you have self-worth and you value yourself, that's where it all is. If you think you deserve more, you'll pursue more. If you shift your mindset, you take action, you'll watch your life transform.
Yeah.
Take this from Roy, take this from I. We are walking examples of what it means to believe in yourself and shift and change. Does that make us better than anybody? No. Do we walk around like we're better than anybody? No. As a matter of fact, we use what we've learned, and we now invest more time in the community to try to bring them up than everybody else. So just because we've achieved something doesn't mean we're not willing to try to help people pick up. But at the end of the day, if we start noticing people aren't picking up, we're just going to leave them behind because they're not ready to change. And if they're not ready to change, then we're not ready to help. And it's just what it is.
Well, we're never going to force or obligate someone, right? And there are other people that want to change, that want our help. we should give them our attention, and that's what for me, I'd always tell people like, hey, I can coach you, but if you're not going to give me your energy and effort, then I can't take on, because there's other kids that want to be coached and want to be better, want to be stronger, faster, all those things. So I want to deliver all my energy to them. So that's where a lot of things happen in achieving your goals is, are you coming in to receive the help, wanting to change? Because that's the biggest and most first step is accepting that you need help. Yeah. I need help, right? I need help in this business. I need help in financial literacy. I need help in real estate. I need help in this. And once I do that, then the right person comes into my life that's going to help me. Now I learn more. Now I can help more people, educate more people, educate my clients, regardless, so it's a beautiful thing. I just hand out keys last week to a couple that just turned 21 years old, and they are first generation buying here. Wow. And that to me is life-changing. I'm so grateful. They're motivating me, just by doing so. But the thing is, if I wouldn't have learned what I know now, I wouldn't have been able to help them the right way. And that's what, for me, it's just, that's why I always say, blessed to be a blessing. I'd rather be a blessing to someone's life than a burden, than a negative. I'd rather be your biggest cheerleader, encourage you. Yeah, you can do it. Is it going to be hard? Yeah. But what isn't hard, right?
Yeah, that's true, man. These journeys aren't easy. None of these journeys are easy. They take a lot of work. They take a lot of effort. They take a lot of everything. But at the end of the day, if we're not, you can't walk into something thinking, oh, I want to change. And that's this day and age of instant gratification. I love Amazon. I can order something and have it tomorrow. And then the moment I have to wait a week, I find myself being like, damn, man, why isn't it getting here quicker?
I'm there. I'm there right
it's
now.
Like, I expect these things like this, and it's like, dude, there was a time where you would wait 3 weeks for something in the mail. There was a time where ordering online wasn't a thing. Going to Circuit City, going to Sears, going to all these places. And it's like, we got so used to doing things quick. It's the first question I get every time too, is like, oh, Ozempic? And I'm like, no, I never took Ozempic or Mounjaro or any of that stuff. And I even asked my doctor, I was like, hey, dude, should I go on this stuff? And he's like, I've never seen somebody take it and keep it off. He's like, I've given it out, prescribed it. He's like, it very rarely ever sticks. The funniest thing, dude, is like, I always felt, I'm like, there's no magic pill. There's no magic anything. Like, even if you ask a bodybuilder and they're like, yeah, you could take steroids, but it doesn't make you jacked.
Yeah.
You take the steroids, you still have to be in the gym. You still have to work out. You still have to eat good. He goes, yeah, the steroids will give you an edge over somebody who's not on them, but it doesn't just go from like fat to lean to muscular. It just doesn't work. He's like, you still have to put in the work. And I think like with anything, especially just life right now, people are like, how do I get to my being rich? How do I get to my best version of myself? But how do I skip all the struggle in between? Because struggling, nobody wants to do. And it's like,
that's the best part.
That's the best part sometimes.
That's the best part, man. You get to remember those things. You get to remember those moments. You get to remember when, I didn't have this, and now you bring that joy. Now you're just living your best life. Don't skip through that, because that's what's going to make you you.
Yeah.
It's going to make you stay grounded, humbled, and, joyful, because you remember those days. And now when another person comes in and they're in that stage, you'll be more willing to help them.
Yeah.
Like, I was there. Hey, you're around the corner. You're going to make it.
Yeah.
There's light at the end of the tunnel. But if you skip through all that and you just want to go through that rich, then you will not be that person that can help someone else.
Well, you're going to do the main issue is when you reach your end goal without the struggle in between, you don't maintain your end goal. It's the same reason why rich people, after they hit the lottery, end up going broke. Yeah. Because they just instantly became rich overnight because of a lottery ticket, and then they spent, and then they're broke again. Very seldomly do you come across a person who's won the lottery and maintained their wealth. They usually make poor financial decisions. They think that they know it all, and they just move on and do all kinds of crazy stuff. It's just one of those things where it's like, invest in yourself. Don't be afraid to put time into something, and don't be afraid to reach out for help. And don't be afraid to look for better people in your life. If your family's not supporting you, well, then it's time for you to start looking for some friends who will. Yeah. And maybe it's best you don't even tell your family what you're doing, because if they're all they're going to do is be negative, just let them see the result.
Yeah.
And when they try to sit there and take credit for it, you'd be there to tell them, I'm sorry, you had nothing to do with my success. Yeah. It was all me, and it just, it's what it is. But yeah, man, I mean, I think that's where I'd like to pick this one and leave it. This was a good first episode back. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Nissim Black, for letting us use your song Adored. Roy, any last thoughts?
Have a blessed day. Do what's most important to you today, and be with the people that are truly a blessing. And because you only get one ticket in life, and you can't go rewind.
Yeah.
So go enjoy it and bless all these 4 most important things in my life, and stay blessed. Can't wait to see you all.
All right, guys. You be well. We'll talk to you next time. Take care.
Will do.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Parents and Pennies. We hope you found our tips and insights helpful. Remember, it's not about how much you have. It's about making the most of what you've got. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other parents who could use a little financial guidance. Join us next week for more real stories, advice, and the financial wisdom you need to keep your family thriving. Until then, keep making those pennies count.